A wall, a climbing wall. I've seen them all, I get around. A chair, but no one there, and if I stare it gets me down. Shadow drop, vast embrace, lipstick stain on an ivory face. Try to make up from down, scratch the wind, tasted sound. Open wide, the hallucinogenic cover that you hide for all to see the color of art, your poetry.
Taste the scent of whispering seas. A sorority of mermaids.
Sing me an ocean, lift me up on the breeze. Let me taste the scent of the whispering seas, a sorority of mermaids. Open wide, the hallucinogenic cover that you hide, for all to see the color of art, your poetry. The world seems such a lonely place when you're alone. Incoherent, unexplainable, alien. The language of languages, shoals of differing fish, chase one and each through the silvering iridescence of a sentence. Aquarium, labyrinthine, where echoes breed and starfish spin. I will swim where the slow whale swims. I will surf upon my scallop shell to the coast of Tralee, to my village of January. Dismantler of the sun and stars, my moon-shadowing gift from Celine casts afar. Vespertine, serpentine, eyelids that kiss the night. Plenitude in valor, my kites, my masts, my shield me from the ghosts of my unhappiness. Rearrange the furniture inside my head, scattering the funeral confetti of circuitous bats. Coiled from snail shell and a cries from a cat, a taste of cared winds pitching, bewitching brew, a lacrimal harlequin. Shoes made of skimming butterfly wings, a heart one sad dance through the welkin. Eyelids that kiss the night, vapors so porously sing. Obscured within and a Pantheon mask, I roll you up and smoke you slow. And the nearest thing is far away. I was building my world, now a world empty. Come here now. I have something to tell you, something you may not already know. Do you wish for me to relate a moment from my past? Only a moment, but that moment still haunts even to this very hour. I never thought I would be a victim. It always seemed to happen to others, but I was stained inside and out. I was young then, a happy girl of age only 19, 19 and everybody over 20 is old. We've all been there. 19. I had many friends. Too few lovers. I was always there when somebody needed a shoulder to cry on. My cuddling arms would squeeze every drop of hurt out of a heartbreaking soul. I was young then. Early 80s Dublin, and the streets sang with hope, but my hope was torn from me by a false swan to protect. You see, I was raped. I was raped when I was 19, nearly 20 years ago. I was a coward's victim. I was a coward's victim and made to feel like a whore. Oh, I was young then. Plenitude in valour, my kites, my masts, my shield me from the ghosts of my unhappiness, rearrange the furniture inside my head, scattering the funeral confetti of circuitous bats, coiled from snail shell and the cries from a cat, a taste of cared winds, bitching, bewitching brew, a lacrymal harlequin, shoes made of skimming butterfly wings, a heart one sad dance through the welkin, eyelids that kiss the night, vapours supportedly sang, obscured within a Nepenthian mask, I roll you up and smoke you slow, and the nearest thing is far away. I was building my world, now a world empty.
Any further thoughts?
Nothing. That's just the rain. There's a beautiful melancholy about the rain. It's as though the seasons cried as they sold their alibis. And now my window pane trickles with the lost tears of lovers.
That sounds so sad. But it rains all the time in Dublin. Why should this rain be any different from all the others?
Ah, there's a haunting music in the rain. I can hear it. I could laugh, but I'd almost certainly cry as I watch this infectious cascade drizzle kaleidoscopic patterns from the prism of apperception. The tempo of glass beads on the window cling, only to fall and fade away, as raindrops chase one another from a dissolved rainbow.
That sounds so sweet, Lucy. It's sad all the same.
I see art in all I see. I search for a sphere where only colour and sound live. And watching those droplets being trickled pink and blue, and green and red from this liquefying moment inspires a creativity, a nascency from a stolen innocence.
Lucy, you're sounding extremely mysterious. There's an esoteric infatuation sown within your words that I find intriguing. I know that you're an artist. That your surrealist paintings cause me to stare and stir. But I failed to ask. Lucy, I've known you for what now? 2 years. And although I know you, and you're a very good friend of mine, at times I feel that there's a loneliness, an emptiness inside of you, as though there was something missing from your life.
Forgive me, Colette. I don't want to sound mysterious or even ambiguous. You're my friend. I would never do such a thing to you. Something from my past reoccurs. I live with it. Sometimes it feels as though it overtakes me, co-eternally in competition with myself. I should be in the prime of my life.
But you are. You are.
It's not that I'm in the prime of my life. I will never be. Never was.
Lucy, sometimes...
I cared for a child once. Like all women, the maternal instinct flooded my inquisitiveness. When I saw a pregnant woman walking down the street, I used to think, wow, she looks so beautiful, so serene, with the radiance of Venus. Colette, I too wish to cherish that growth.
So you feeling broody, are ya? Oh, come on, Lucy. Our biological clocks are pulsating with the strength of our hearts. We're in our late 20s. Time is on our side.
It's hard to speak of, even at this late hour of my life. You see, Colette, I was pregnant once. Pregnant 9 years ago.
What happened? Did you put the little fella up for adoption?
No. For years I couldn't trust anyone. It's only meeting you that my trust has returned. People have the impression that artists are loners, and to a certain extent that much is true. We have to engage in our psychological environment and see eccentricity as a failing rather than a gift. My trust and my sexuality were abused when I was 19.
19? Why? What happened?
Colette, it's you I trust more than anyone. I wouldn't be sitting here trusting you, peeling my heart out in front of you. I love you. I lost the capacity for loving until you came into my life. You rekindled my faith. All the emotions I had when I was 19 have returned. Except the ghost of my unhappiness, which torments me.
Abused? Pregnant? I'm confused.
It happened one night back in the spring of 1979. When I was 19, I moved to the city of Dublin. When I was 19, I met my first true love. When I was 19, Shane O'Shaughnessy was the lad my soul had been searching for. Oh, a mysterious Sagittarian from Shanagolin came into my heart.
Go on, Lucy.
When we were 19, days and nights never ended. When we were 19, we were only one kiss away.
That sounds romantic. But what did you mean when you spoke of abuse?
That's a long story. Traumatic also. It's a story of magic and loss.
Open up where you hide, Lucy. Share with me your pain. I just exercise this ghost of your unhappiness.
Yeah, Shane and I lived together in a bedsit on Barrow Street. An L-shaped kind of room in an old building. Oh, we were happy. We never minded. We had a cat called Sexagazima. We found him, or rather he found us, just a week before Lent. Oh, we never named him because of that, no. It was our 60-day anniversary, and Sexy, yes, that's what we called him for short, fell at us home one night after we'd been for a meal at the local Chinese place. Do cats have intuition? He seemed to know the bedsit better than we did. Knew where the warmest spots were without looking. Then he let out a meow, and another meow, all the time looking towards the cupboard. He knew there was something in that cupboard. Then he fixed us with his big green eyes. But Shane felt obliged to open up a can of corned beef, and then asked the cat if he could possibly share his dinner with us.
I think cats know more about us than they let on.
Yeah. After he ate, While smacking his lips approvingly at his surroundings, he spent the next half hour washing and grooming himself. From his toes to the back of his ears, then the back of his ears to his toes, and the tail again, and again the tail. With an ostentatious stretch and yawn, he bade us good night and sauntered off to our bed. He checked the mattress by kneading its many contours and diverse densities. And before he circled down, Shane had scooped him up and placed him on the sofa.
Poor sexy cat. Wanted to cuddle into the two of you. But what of Shane? You've never told me about him before.
Oh, Shane. Oh, Shoki, as everyone knew him. He worked hard at anything. He put his hands to everything to feed his wheels.
Wheels?
He's 190. His dreams of a Harley. The two of us together riding Ventura Highway in sunny California. With the wind in our hair, freedom in our hearts. And Era, a distant memory. That was our rhapsody.
Did you go? Did the two of you ride the West Coast?
No, we never made it. Our dreams were torn from us by a twisted system. I'm the sole survivor to relate Shoki's life with me.
What happened to Sharky? Is he still around?
No, he died when we were 19.
19? Please, Lucy, trust in me. Share what's troubling your soul. Perhaps I can help you chase away those demons which lurk within your heart.
Many moons ago, I worked as a barmaid at the Durdita Bar on Nassau Street.
Yes, I know where you are.
Oh, I loved work. It was a bar filled with characters and characters. We were like a family. We were one big, happy family. But all that changed one night in March.
Tell me, Lucy. We'll face whatever trauma there is. Together.
It was a Friday night, and the bar was full. There was a lot of Englishmen in, a stag do, policemen from somewhere in Essex, and Chelmsford, that was it. At first they were drunk, flowing with patter and flirting with me. They kept giving me compliments as well as large tips. At first I was enjoying the attention, but as the drink oiled their mouths and dilated their eyes, their features hardened, dissolved their personalities.
Some people think it's patriotic to get drunk.
Every time I passed to serve a customer, I was groped. Whenever I cleared a table again, I was groped. This one fella said, "I've got instincts." A sweaty face leered at my face. "Well, your instincts stink," I spat back at his face.
Filthy scum, they think just because they got a wad of notes they can do anything.
We
It must have been a shock to you.
We never, ever had any trouble at the Durdita Bar. Never had any problems with locals or visitors. No, this night was different. The group of English pigs started fighting with everybody shouting, "England, England," at the top of their voices as they set about our locals. There was only 5 or 6 to begin with, and then the bar was filled with skinhead police.
That must have been terrifying.
The violence didn't last long. Bloody-faced young and old helped one another.
You must have been really shook up about that. People like that disgust me.
Colette, that's not all that happened.
Shorky. Did the English policeman kill Shorky?
No. Well,
Please, Lucy. Tell me, please. Here, have a drink. And in your own time, you tell me when you're ready. I'll be here for you always.
When I finished my shift at the bar, I'd take a shortcut from Nassau Street through the grounds of Trinity College to our bedsit on Barrow Street. Dublin's nightlife echoed beyond its streaming spires, but my head swam with that evening's venom, and the cool night air seemed to cleanse and refresh all the sticky grubbiness that had gone before then.
Lucy, I'll never leave you.
And from behind a tree, two of the Englishmen from the pub appeared. They just stared at me. They just grinned. They stared at me as if I wasn't there. Still grinning. Their blackened eyes drilled holes as my body froze. Colette. Those predators pounced. They pounced on me. With their smiling, grinning faces.
Those bastards didn't... They didn't attack you?
I was punched to silence. I melted. Are you aware of the dewy taste of midnight lawns? I lay there, confused, and the grass began to turn to mud, warmed with blood, quailed to silence.
Poor Lucy, what did they do to you?
Those bourbon hissing tongues. Those bourbon hissing tongues being licked by jellyfish. It all seemed so false, so false.
I had no idea you'd been through such an ordeal.
It was so strange. It was as though I'd found myself suspended above me. I was kicked again. Why again? Was I dead? Were those two policemen necrophiliacs? I was very much alive and witnessing my own rape.
Lucy, how could they do that to you? You could have been murdered.
So small beneath those men. One had stretched out my arms and dug his knees into them. He knelt there at the top of my head, tearing open my shirt. I tried to say no, shout out even, but I was petrified. The other one ran his tongue up and down my face before ripping off my knickers. I tried to shout. I hung there choking. And my eyelids were shut. I shivered as I looked down toward myself. The snarling fluidity of forced penetration was my angel of cessation. But then I was kicked between the legs by the other, and I felt as if I was left for dead. As the clock chimed midnight, somewhere in the dark.
Those evil swine, how could they do that to you?
I listened to the darkness until they were gone where they left me. I felt like a rag doll. Ripped and torn and tossed away. I was defiled, stained with stigma, the shapelessness of violence.
They deserve to be strung up.
I was in a state of shock. I couldn't cry out. My eyes were my only guiding lights. They carried me through the grounds of Trinity College, home. I just had to get home. So filthy. The cobbled street slithered beneath legs I'd failed to recognize. The filth in my thighs. And blood. Whose blood? The blood oozed. It crept. It stiffened. It stopped. crimson slugs. So the calyx wept.
I've never heard of anything so terrible.
How could I tell Shane? How can I tell Shane? Tell him I was in a fight. How do I lie?
It must have been awful. What an ordeal to go through.
When I got back home to Barrow Street, I washed and washed and washed again. I watched the bright red blood fading and pirouetting, blooming slowly down the shower drain. I looked in the mirror. I'd never recognized the person looking back at me. Those eyes. Those eyes. Those eyes. I curled up on the rug on the bathroom floor. I shivered with cold. I shivered because I was hot. I was in a vortex. A whirlpool. Spinning, slowly sinking. My voice was lost and I wanted to shout. My aching body kicked inside and out.
Where was Shane?
I could hear Shane's Honda ricocheting through the cobbled streets. As the intonation increased, my heart was in little pieces. My pulse was erratic. When the motorbike stopped outside our flat, my pendulous heart jarred to a stop.
I never knew. Never knew.
That was just the beginning of my nightmare. Collecting a victim of rape was just the start. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't go to the policeman. I was abused by policemen. I was sure they were all in cahoots. And my ordeal really hit home about 9 weeks after the assault. But I found out I was pregnant. Pregnant with the rapist baby. It was true. I thought I was late when it hit. I didn't know what to do. I avoided Shane. I couldn't tell him.
Did you go and see your doctor?
No, have you ever heard of a woman called Madame Dragonfly?
Yes. Yes, I did. It was she that... Oh no, Lucy, you didn't go to her, did you?
I asked a friend of a friend of a friend. I couldn't live with that thing growing inside of me. I wanted a child at some time in my life, but not like this. I was given an address, 17 Crescent Hill, the home of Madame Dragonfly, a leafy avenue I never knew existed. My stomach flushed with ice-cold water as I approached the large red painted door. Every bone, every muscle, every nerve sick, sick, sick. I was told that Madame Dragonfly used to be a midwife before being struck off for drug dealing and alcoholism. I only knew her name was Isabella.
I've heard of those backstreet abortionists. I never knew you had so much trauma in your past.
Open wide, the hallucinogenic cover that you hide, for all to see the colour of art, your poetry. She appeared at the door in a gaudy flower pattern pinny, the type me mammy wore. She had on these thick glasses, large compound eyes, like some nocturnal creature hypnotised by a far-off light. An abrupt hairstyle with a careless blue streak made her face massive, and her high-pitched voice startled me. "Follow me!" she said, and I followed her down some steps and into a kitchen. The air stung heavily of steam and grease. A near in-tune John Pill chatted away in a corner above the sink as the radio seemed to hiss in this acidic room. Cash now! A big-fingered, stumpy hand reached out to me. I put the scrapings of the 100 I'd managed to get together into that sweaty palm, and her quick tongue tossed her colourless lips as she unwreathed the hot and tightly packed sum of money. "Slate!" she said, and offered me some blue label vodka with a little water in it. Gets into the bloodstream quicker. I was told to lie on a kitchen table. For comfort, disturbingly, I was made to lie on a baby's changing mat. This sickness welled in my throat, and my heart leapt in its cage like a trapped bird. She said, "Among my tools to remove the products of conception, there is a certain instrument for means of which the limbs within the womb are dissected with unfaltering care. Following that, I will be using a hook to extricate the entire fetus. Vacuum aspiration!" A machine purred gently. "I will also be using a hook and a trifurcating cutting tool to alleviate your condition. Then you'll be as clean as meat." She said those words as though pulling a scalp from my thumb. I was scared. Hanging above my head, a pulley draped with washed out undies, hanging skin like a cadaverous creature's fingers flaccidly point judgingly, and I'm fallen in love with hate. There were complications. The abortionist could not stop the bleeding, and because she had drank so much, was in a panic. She was crying and hysterical. I was weak and confused from the medication I'd previously taken. When I saw the amount of blood I was losing and the pitiful attempts of Madame Dragonfly to stem this bleeding, I broke down also. Seeing that drunken heap of a woman, trying to explain what went wrong. I trusted you! I spat in her face as she tried to pour another vodka. Her thick glasses looked like specimen jars as her eyes floated in and out within. She said, "Take this money and get yourself to the hospital! You're at the risk of blood poisoning!" And threw some bloodied bills onto the table. I was scared. A man appeared in the doorway of the kitchen. A small man, not Irish. He bundled up my things and threw them at me, intimidating. He grabbed me by my wrists and yanked me from the table, from the kitchen, up the stairs and out the door. The door slammed shut. I didn't know it then, but my nightmare was just beginning.
The nurse what had happened. I cried with pain and guilt. I cried when I saw my name written in ink, black and white. None appeared from the page. I was rushed to the emergency theatre. I was lying back on the trolley. The strip lights fired over my head, chased by the silent silhouette of a wimple. I awoke in a hospital bed. A silent single room, achingly cleansed with blurred sterility. No sound, no heartbeat, no breath. My marble eyes chose to wander through this barren land. Above me, a crucifix cut the wall. I remember thinking, I feel incarcerated, ensnared within a wired web. There was a fluidity upon the silence, a bloody glow from stolen angels. I couldn't hear them, but their wings disturbed a hushed tongue of flames. Somewhere near, but nowhere far.
You must have been through so much, Lucy.
There was this votive lamp in a crimson bowl, pulsating with the synergy that captivated my heart, floating on midnight air to catch the fleeting echoes of two whispering shadows, one a priest, second a nun, smeared and distorted beyond the chiaroscuro auras. They loomed irritatingly over the blessed kissed walls of this sickening room.
Where are the doctors? The nurses? Surely they were more important. You need a medical, not
There
theirs.
was none by his side. A shadow. A ventriloquist shadow of papal infallibility, whose stern Azeroth eyes that seemed to stitch and sew me to the bed, cautioned a cold-trade smile, a well-fingered rosary, an abacus dividing and dissecting my sins, echoed Gloria, 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 as the judging priest genuflected, not to me, but to the crucifix that hung above me. My eyes drained, and the throbbing blood on the walls grew louder and louder, suffocating, riddling. My ruby eyes sunk slowly as an arabescent carnation opened her wings and enclosed me in her gentle sleep.
Can the church not leave us alone?
Oh, Colette. The nightmare that I was in surfaced for air. Shane was arrested and charged with rape. My rape.
Shane charged with your rape? But it was that policeman and his accomplice that abused you.
It was the priest, Father Hickey, who informed me as I stared, confused, through the bars at the bottom of my hospital bed. The hissing nun inflected with each and every annunciation. Father Hickey spoke from another planet. I felt as if I was in the skeletal carcass of a long dead whale, the ribcage squeezing tighter and tighter. Again and again I was told that Shane had been charged with my rape, and that the two British policemen were witnesses to the despicable offence. And those words echoed all around me. I could barely hear myself saying, "No, it's not true. It's not true." Wordless faces, swarming voices clawed at each artery.
Was no one listening to you?
No. Then there were the three police officers suspended in my hospital room. One, a plainclothes detective, two in uniform. One male, one female. Those puppets joined the priest and the nun. The trench coat wearing detective. Why do they always wear trench coats? He hovered at the foot of my bed. He told me that there was no doubt about Shane's guilt, that Shane must have been feeling remorseful for his heinous crime, and that he took his own life rather than face the consequences of a trial.
Shane. You're Shane. But why would they lie? Why were they trying to destroy your life?
I looked at the detective. I looked at the other shapes. I looked, but I found no answer. The detective spoke as all policemen spoke, a tedious, cliché-ridden statement only makes sense to other policemen. Out of all the meaningless words, I managed to discern that Shane, while awaiting trial, had hung himself in his cell. While they said there was no doubt of his guilt, that Shane couldn't face me in court. So he did the cowardly thing and swung in Mountjoy prison.
It's the most saddest thing I've ever heard. I had no idea you'd been through so much, Lucy.
There was nothing I could do. Who knows what goes through the mind? There's no indication of Shane's inner trauma. Who knows what goes through the mind? Talk to me, Shane. All you had to do was talk to me. You're my soulmate. You're the star in my firmament. You never got the chance to speak. Didn't even know what Shane's last words were. I wanted to scream and shout, no, no, no. When I was submerged in a hospital bed again. And the walls began to bleed, and I drained with them. I was sent to court for having an abortion.
I was charged
Not
only with having an abortion, but with also withholding information as to the identity of the abortionist.
What a cruel world we live in.
My sentence? 2 years in the St. Scholastica workhouse, which was run by that same priest and nun who hovered at the end of my hospital bed there. My time there? I don't recall. Colette, my time is now.
You've been through so much, Lucy. Because of those consequences and the ordeals that you've been through, you've become a stronger woman. In my eyes, you're the most special person that I've ever met.
My kites and my children I never received. My kites helped me come to terms with all the murdered youth. Open wide the hallucinogenic cover that you hide, for all to see the color of art, your poetry. The world seems such a noisy place when you're alone, incoherent, unexplainable, alien. The language of languages, shoals of differing fish, chase one and each through the silvering iridescence of acceptance. Aquarium, labyrinthine, where echoes breed and starfish spin. I will swim where the slow whale swims. I will surf upon my scallop shell to the coast of Tralee, to my village of January. My kites and my mosques. My kites help me come to terms with all the murdered past. They are my wings. And you know what? You know what? I am beautiful. I am beautiful.
Insomnia, euphoria, thoughts like 1,000 warriors. Sleep, my soul, don't feel no pain. Empty pieces come back yawning breath all through the night. A chilling wind with a nasty bite. Stormy sky gives up to light, and the sun shines again. And the sun shines again. Well, I try to forget you now. Empty bottles were a mirror somehow. The chilling wind with the nasty bite said, don't look back, drive through the night. Insomnia, the color gray. Well, time will heal all wounds, they say, but the empty sky leaves questions raised, and the sun shines again. And the sun shines again. Well, I don't know, but I tried to keep the flame for you buried inside. Well, all these days of sleepless nights, these weary haze to reality bites. Insomnia, euphoria, chill and peace are a constant woe. But the sun shines again. But the sun shines again. What's it for? Well, I don't know, but I tried to keep the flame for you buried inside. Well, all these days of sleepless nights, this weary haze to reality bites. Insomnia, euphoria, cheer and peace are a constant woe. But the sun shines again. But the sun shines again.